Okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here tonight. Considering it's been a little bit of a rough week at UMass, it's really nice to have had this to look forward to. So this is the first in our spring series of speakers for the music community engagement and social action series that we started in the fall. So it's the eighth episode altogether, and it's a particularly exciting one. So we have Mary Esther and Mary Lisa Alvarez, who are the founders of the Boston String Academy, which is an El Sistema group that has El Sistema program in Boston that has already been enormously successful in this short amount of time. And they are bringing to it the qualifications that they actually grew up in the system in Venezuela. So we'll be talking with a couple of people this spring who have also started programs like this. So I thought this was a particularly nice way to start. And I'm just going to turn it right over to you guys. Okay.
Hello,
Thank
good
you.
evening. Thank you very much, Ms. Chang, for the invitation. It's a pleasure to speak with all of you. So my name is Maria Esther, and I'm Maria Lisa. Yeah, we're twins, and we both play violin. I don't know why we chose the same instrument, but we like it. We grew up in Venezuela in El Sistema, what is known as El Sistema. So it's the national system or network of youth orchestras and choirs. So it was founded in 1975 by Dr. Jose Antonio Abreu. And the idea is that he would use music, in collective and also individual instruction in different ways, using choirs and orchestras to achieve social and human change. Yeah, there is, in Venezuela, there is at least a choir, a youth choir and a youth orchestra in every single town in Venezuela. And and the program is sponsored by the government. They have other sponsors, but in majority by the government. So it's free of charge for all the children. And in Venezuela, the majority of the children come from low-income families. And of course, it's not just only open for the low-income children, it's for anyone. It's the music program there. So it's very neat because it's an after-school program. It's in the conservatories. For us, the conservatories is just the music school, the community music schools. So there are conservatories in every city, and the kids just go there after school every day. So it's very intensive training, and they receive everything, not only like their own instrumental, so like individual lessons, orchestra, which happens every day, and choirs. They also do like complementary piano, harmony, theory. It's very thorough. Yeah, and the goal is to give them values that they otherwise wouldn't see or wouldn't have access to if they were not part of this music program. Like they wouldn't see that in their homes or in their communities or in their regular schools. So the goal for Maestro Abreu was to transform the individual. So by transforming that child, the circle around that child gets transformed, gets inspired, because the family, the friends, and then like the communities. So the goal is to make an exponential transformation. As he said, like in the past, music used to be from minorities to minorities. And now through El Sistema, he wants to make it from majorities to majorities. Yeah, definitely, it's majorities. Like there are over 1 million students in Venezuela currently, not even counting the former generations. And then this movement has spread all over the world. I don't think he envisioned that it would spread, so big. Only in the US, there are over 100 programs. And then I think it's over 80 countries in the world. So it's becoming very famous. Anyway, so our experience in El Sistema, we used to go after school to the music school every day, Monday to Friday, and we would have lessons once a week. We would hang out with the friends and have orchestra every evening for like 2 hours. And I didn't feel like it was too much. With our students sometimes here, they're like, well, they have to do other things. I never felt like that. It was just like exciting because our friends were there. So I think that's the social aspect. It just starts there because you're motivated to go to see your friends, to play with your friends, and then you produce that amazing sound in the orchestra. and it becomes like a family because you're seeing your friends every single day. So these friends become even closer than your family members. So you really develop like strong connections and wonderful relationships that they last for forever. You know, we're still very close friends to our friends from the youth orchestra. And a nice thing about this as well is that it teaches children resilience and hard work and to achieve the goal they set
It wasn't
themselves
easy.
to.
Yeah, it's like it was pretty demanding. So we were expected to do our best in everything that we did. I mean, and of course, in music, you have, we had auditions all the time. If you wanted to belong to the National Youth Orchestra, you had to audition, and then you would be traveling all over the world, or at least going to the main city. So you have to be practicing all the time, and it's intense. But that's what teaches you to work hard to get great results, no matter what you're gonna do in life. And in fact, I feel like most of our friends from the youth orchestra, they're successful. Not all of them are musicians, but we have chefs, we have architects, we have doctors, we have engineers. So we really feel,
Yeah, all of them became professional, and many of them were like first generation, that went to college in their families. So it was a very inspiring atmosphere, and kids coming from all different backgrounds, and all together, like we saw past that. It was just like we were brothers and sisters in music.
Like didn't matter what you come from, how you look like, nothing around that. So we feel that we really lived that transformation, and we always knew that we wanted to give back, to give that experience to other children. So originally we thought like going abroad to study and get better, and then we would go back to Venezuela and contribute. But politically and many things happened in the country that didn't allow us to do that, and then opportunities opened up here in Boston. So we came to Boston to do our studies. We did our master's and graduate performance diploma at the Boston Conservatory. And after we graduated, opportunities came up and we just stayed.
Yeah, we saw that even though Boston is a culturally rich city, there was the need, there was a lot of need for programs like this that would go out into the communities, that would, open the doors to any children, no matter their background or their musical abilities. Just anyone that is interested would be welcome, and kids would feel that they belong to something larger than them, and families too, that they will belong. So we saw that there was this need. A lot of schools in Boston, in the city, don't have music. They don't have music programs. So we started to go to different schools, and then we saw this, and we were like, well, let's start something like this. So we started at a public school that didn't have a music program. We just went, we contacted the principal there and say, well, can we come and just play for the children, just like at a lunchtime or something? And then there was a lot of interest from the kids for us to come back and like show them instruments. So we brought like small instruments for them to try, and it was fantastic. We got like, I don't know, like 50 kids that were interested in being part of this program. So then we were like, okay, let's make this official, and let's create a formal program here. And then after a year or so, we were like, okay, let's create our own nonprofit organization so we can do this with several schools.
And so we incorporated in 2012, and that's when we started Boston String Academy. We had a lot of help from our teachers, our teacher from the conservatory, Mr. Noren, who who's a fantastic pedagogue. So we had a team of teachers, and he would support us and meet us every week, and sometimes to see the children. So that was very useful at the very beginning.
Yeah, and then we got, the connections that you make in college are so wonderful. I'm sure many of you have experienced this. So we started with friends that we had met in college, were our colleagues. So our colleagues and our teachers, we all worked together to start. So yes, we incorporated in 2012. And we now have, we started with about 20 kids, and now we have around 120 students in 2 locations, in Chinatown and in Alston. And then Lisa, we do programs before school and after school, and we incorporate individual lessons as well as group lessons.
So let me share some more information with you. Let me open this. Okay.
All right. You can go back.
Okay. So here we start. So the Boston String Academy is a nonprofit organization inspired by El Sistema, which uses by the El Sistema model, which believes that music has a vehicle for social change. We provide rigorous string instrument training to children in underserved communities, laying a strong musical foundation. And our program makes mastery of a string instrument reachable by eliminating obstacles that stand in an inner city family's way. So basically, yeah, the main principle is to give access to, because many families or many children don't know if they have a potential, if they like it or not. So if they have the possibilities, we come to the communities, and and if it's easy for them to take lessons, they don't have to be traveling somewhere else. We can discover many wonderful talents, and children can discover that themselves, and families as well. Maybe move on to the next one.
Yeah, this is a quote from Gustavo Dudamel. This was in a concert that we performed at Princeton University when he was doing a residency there.
Actually, not the picture. The picture is in Los Angeles.
Yeah, the picture is in Los Angeles, but the quote is from that concert there. They're the Boston String Academy, a result of what we developed in Venezuela. They have shared and they have created a beautiful, beautiful group of artists that give beauty to all of us.
And it's incredible that Gustavo was a violinist, and he was the concertmaster of our youth orchestra. So we played together when we were kids, when we were teenagers. And we always knew that he was very talented, but you would never expect, he would become who he is. That's amazing. So he's like, the miracle of El Sistema.
Yeah.
And then here, just to show you a little bit of in numbers. So we have had 630% in growth since 2012. So starting from 20 students in one side, now we have 126 students in 3 programs and 2 sites. So like Marilisa was saying, we have 3 programs in 2 locations in Chinatown, that we have students that come before school, because their school usually starts at 9:30. So that's for the elementary students. And then in the afternoon, we have students that come from different schools, mainly like the Boston Latin School, Boston Arts Academy, and so that's 2 programs in Chinatown. And then we have another one in Alston that meets 3 times a week. And 89% of our children are children of color. 100% of our students have been admitted into exam schools. So here in Boston, if you want to go to those exam schools, you have to, so far up to now, you have to present a test. You have to do a test. And all of our students that have tried the test have made it. So we feel like music has been very important for the development as well. 100% of our students received subsidized tuition. So we want to make it possible for every family. And we have a 6-to-1 student-teacher ratio. We believe smaller groups are just best for the children to understand, and because we want to have hands-on as well as we teach.
Yes, you can give them more attention. We have received a couple of important recognitions in the past few years. So in 2019, we received the Commonwealth Awards, which honor exceptional achievement in the arts, humanities, and sciences in the state of Massachusetts. And in 2016, Marias and I were chosen among the 100 most influential people for the Hispanic community in Massachusetts by El Planeta's Power Meter. El Planeta is the largest circulating newspaper in Spanish in the
Boston area.
In the Boston area.
And we also feel like to expand the horizon of our students and the experiences, we partner with different collaborations like the Boston Symphony, Boston Philharmonic, the Landmarks Orchestra, institutions like Lungi, Boston Conservatory, Boston University, NEC, the Celebrity Series, Harvard, and so on. And also this year we partnered with Midori's Orchestra Residency Program. She gave 5 workshops to the students, 2 master classes, 1 for the parents, like how to support a music student, and then about listening and about practicing, which was super helpful.
Yeah, so these partnerships, they go from having teachers come and give master classes to the students, or our students go to these institutions and have open rehearsals, or like even a performance. So we prepare, have a joint, like side by side rehearsals and a joint performance.
Or even if some institutions like New England Conservatory, they provide chamber music programs, and we don't do that in our program because it's mostly orchestra and individual lessons. So we send some of our students to take lessons there. So that those kind of activities.
Yes, and then as well, like to prepare them, for them to have an array of opportunities. We also we train and we prepare our kids to audition for music festivals, because our programming is during the school year, and we want them to go in the summer and then like have lessons with other teachers, go to different festivals, so they meet other kids and are inspired by other musicians, by wonderful instructors, by traveling and getting to know new places. So our students have been accepted by audition to these festivals, the Yola National Festival, which is organized by the Los Angeles Philharmonic.
Yeah, they wanted to create a national symphony orchestra of students that belong to these kind of programs like El Sistema, or with similar philosophy. So it started about 5 years ago, and it's been the highlight for students every year. I mean, they have to audition. It's not easy to get in, but many of our students have been there and they just love it.
Yeah, they have made it to BUTI, Boston University Tanglewood Institute, Greenwood Music Camp, New England Conservatory's Summer Orchestra Institute, King Heaven, and Sphinx Performance Academy, among others. So they come back after summers, spending time in these festivals, inspired and full of energy to continue the new year, and to continue improving. So they not only come motivated themselves, but they also motivate the other kids, the younger kids that come after them. So it's a wonderful
boost.
Boost for everyone.
I mean, I feel like we all have been through that. Going through summer festivals, it's just like so much fun. You meet people from all over. I mean, we have friends all over the world. So and we did many festivals also in Europe. So it's just fascinating, the music world.
Yeah.
And then we've also made it important for our students to meet personalities in the music world, like Sir Simon Rattle, when he came a couple of years ago with the Berlin Philharmonic. So we made it possible for the kids to meet him, and they played for him, and he talked to them and gave them some words of encouragement. And then Gustavo Dudamel, we have a long-lasting friendship and also relationship with Boston String Academy. The kids going to Los Angeles every summer. And also he has come to Boston, has worked with Lungi School of Music. Actually, this picture is at Lungi because some of our students participating in the side-by-side orchestra, and it's just very inspiring for them. Also, a few years ago, some of our kids went to Mexico, and they met Arturo Marquez, the Mexican composer, so it was a great experience as well. And then Midori, so they met her a few years ago, like 8 years ago, I think this picture was.
We were just starting.
Yeah, we were just starting, and she was here in Boston, so we invited her to come to play for the kids, to talk to them. And then it's just 8 years later, she provided this residency in January, which was fantastic. And
yeah, so the international engagements, we have had two engagements. The first one was a couple of years ago in Mexico City, and it was part of Gustavo Dudamel's residency. It was like a tour, actually. It was a tour with the Vienna Philharmonic. So they were going to spend maybe like 10 days or so in Mexico. They were touring through South America. And then Gustavo, with his foundation, the Dudamel Foundation, and then El Sistema movement in Mexico, they organized this orchestra with children,
young people.
Yeah, young people from all over the continent, all over the Americas. And they invited 6 of our students to take part of that. And like that picture with Arturo Marquez was during that trip. And that was unbelievable, like an eye-opening for them. Many of them hadn't been out of the country. They hadn't traveled before. And then, traveling to Mexico City with such a rich culture and getting to know about this history and like getting to know all these wonderful players. They were the youngest in the orchestra. So it was very, very inspiring. And
yeah,
then,
it wasn't a right. Like some students in high school, some in college, so they were like wonderful players.
yeah,
And the rehearsals were mostly in Spanish. They had translators, but sometimes there wasn't time to translate. But the kids didn't mind. They were like they're understanding, and they knew the language of music, so that they understood.
yeah. And then in summer 2019, we were invited by El Sistema Portugal to perform over there at the Gulbenkian Foundation, the Grande Auditorium of the Gulbenkian Foundation. And the name of the program is Orchestra Gerazao. Is the main Sistema program. There is a wonderful, wonderful program that has been going for around 10 years or so.
More than 10 years.
More than 10 years.
And they have over 1,000 students.
Yeah, huge program, and the level is very high. So that was another like fantastic experience. We took 20 of our most advanced students. So we will tell you a little bit about it later. We have several levels of ensembles. So we took 20 of the most advanced students, and that was a wonderful experience for all of them.
Yeah, many of them, I mean, like if they had never been to outside the US, so some of them went to Mexico, but then 20 went to Portugal. So going to Europe, visiting castles, museums, it's just like a different culture. So the historic knowledge that they learn
and
that
making
trip,
those friends.
And the friends as well. Everybody was crying the last day.
And they are so warm. The Portuguese people are really, really warm and like engaging and very friendly. We really had a wonderful time. And we wanted to close this little PowerPoint presentation with a quote from Maestro Abreu. And he says, "Inclusion is the basic principle. Our motto is the poor come first. And for the poor, the best instruments, the best instruction, the best infrastructure. Culture for the poor cannot be a poor culture."
And these are some of our students from the Alston program. They started in 2019, right?
Yeah, so these are all kindergarteners. By that time, they were 4.
And let us show you a little bit of our youth ensemble. And perhaps, it's a moment to talk a little bit about our ensembles. We have about 4. So the first one is called the Petite Ensemble, which is for the beginners, maybe the first and second year students. Then we have another one that is called the Pre-Junior. It's for students that have been in year 3 to 5, 3 and 4, something like that. And then we have the Junior Ensemble. It's like our intermediate ensemble, sort of, and it's for students that have more experience and have been playing for 4 to 6 years. And then this one that you see here, it's the Advanced Ensemble. So it's mostly for students in high school, some middle school, and high school. And those older ones are the ones that have been traveling overseas and also to
and the ones
Los
that started
Angeles.
with us about 8 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. So it's also fascinating to see them grow. Musically, of course, like you start them from scratch, and then now, you can play together. You can play an ensemble and play chamber music and play orchestra music. They're playing very well, and also see them grow as humans. So
they're all taller than us by now.
Yeah, of course.
But it's so beautiful to see them, and then just to think about the impact that we have as music teachers, as educators in their lives, right? Because they have their elementary school teachers, their first grade teacher is only for 1 year, right? And then in second grade, they have a new teacher, third grade, another teacher, and so on. And then with us, we have been their teachers for all this time. So we have, a closer connection to them than any other teacher they have had. So we play a very important role in their lives.
And the same with the orchestra. They grew up with those students. They met each other when they were in first, second grade, and now they are in high school. They're in 9th, 10th grade. It's just amazing.
So they have developed really nice relationships.
So in this is an extract from a concert that we did a couple of years ago. This concert was at Lungi at Pickman Hall, and they're playing La Muerte del Ángel by Astor Piazzolla, because we feel it's important for them to be acquainted with music from different cultures, different kinds of music from different composers. And this one they like a lot. So here I'm gonna play a little bit. Okay, great. Yes, and then that was before the pandemic. So then when the pandemic hit in March, we were like, well, we have to continue because many of the schools, especially in Boston, they were closed for a while. They sent everybody home and they didn't open on like maybe 2 weeks or so when they started figuring out what to do. But we were like, okay, after the weekend, we closed, I think it was on a Thursday. And then by Monday, we had a plan that everybody would be taking lessons. At least we started with just private lessons. They would take like 2 private lessons a week. And then later we incorporated when we learned to use Zoom because we didn't know. So we used like FaceTime, WhatsApp, Skype, anything that was available. And then when we learned Zoom, then we started doing sectionals. And then we also learned about the virtual performances and like how to get an editor. And many people started learning the skills, how to put an orchestra together. So we found great people that would help us. And then working with the students, it's been challenging. I mean, especially for the younger ones. Imagine if you had a student starting in September and then by March, I mean, some of them like barely started using the fingers because we spent a lot of time using lots of open strings of very basic things. So they had no idea. And then they're just home and the parents don't know because our program is so intense that sometimes they don't take the instrument home. We see them every day, so there is no need. And then, okay, the parents have the instrument home and what do we do? So it took a lot of that process of also training the parents. So I feel like that's one of the silver linings, that it brought us closer to those parents, to the parents of the beginner students, and just like teaching the parents, teaching them how to tune, how to count, how to say the syllables, and how to follow, how to help the kids. So they have improved. It's amazing. Like even, I mean, imagine a beginning, like you don't have hands on, everything virtual, but they're doing it. And the older students too. And at the same time, they're not as busy as before because they don't have that many sports. They're not meeting other activities that they used to have when normal life was happening. So they have more time to practice. And even though, I mean, everybody misses the social aspect, seeing their friends, because that's the main essence of El Sistema and of our orchestras. But we try to replicate it online as well. And that gives them that continuity.
Yeah, we created a mentorship program as well. So we would come bring together, pair older students with younger students. So starting with the youth ensemble, the more advanced kids, then we have a few teachers from teaching assistants from Longy School of Music, from New England Conservatory, Boston University. So like those college students were teaching, they were mentoring the high school students. Then the high school students will mentor the middle school, or like your 5th graders and so on. And then the middle schoolers will mentor the younger ones. And that was really nice. It was a nice way to connect all of them. And it's very different when you have another child like teaching you, even though it's older, but it feels different than just having an adult teaching you. So it was really nice. And then they had to we made them make these reports. After each lesson, they would say, okay, what did we work on? What did we notice the student could improve on? And those reports were really elaborate.
They were actually sometimes pretty demanding, even more than us. That we would get feedback from parents like, well, I think it's too much. Like they're asking like too much. But it's actually, it's great. They want to see their student, their mentee like progressing and learning more.
And it's as a player, as a performer,
many times, like when you teach something, is you realize how you do it. It's like, how do I do this? How do I do that? It's like, so teaching makes you a better player, a better performer. And we see that with the students too. And they also get to, value what the teachers do all the time for them. So it was really, really nice. Maybe we can share some of the other videos so you see the other levels too. Okay, so let me start with, this is the junior ensemble that they were learning a short piece by Schumann. It's called Soldiers March by Schumann. And that was one of our first virtual videos. So it took a lot. It's like each student had to make a video, and it had to be perfect. I mean, we split the piece in a couple of sections, and then they would send the videos to us. We made sure that it was with the metronome pretty accurate, and that was in tune. And then we sent it to the editor, and the editor had to put all those pieces together. So here's the junior ensemble playing Soldiers March by Schumann. Let me put it from the beginning.
Yeah, that was in the spring. So it was our first virtual
experience,
yeah. Performance.
Hi, I am Camilla, and we are the Junior Strings.
Hi, my name's Stephanie. My name is Joy.
Surin.
Hi, my name is Betty.
Karina.
My name is Kaylin Deck.
Richard.
Kathleen.
Giselle. Leslie.
Suyan. Rika.
Sophia.
Bonnie.
Nicole.
Tiffany.
Sophia.
Paola. I'm Brianna.
Emily.
Jennifer.
Charlotte.
Noah. Hi, my name's Maria Camilla.
Presley.
I am Sam.
Juna.
Okay, let me stop sharing this video. All right, let me see if I can stop, and maybe you can introduce them to our next video. Yes, so the next one that we're gonna show, the next one is the Petite, actually we grouped them together, the Petite and Pre-Junior ensembles. So these are beginner students and kids that have been playing for 2 or 3 years or so. And the piece that we're going to show is our virtual performance for the holiday concert that we just had last December. So they were playing an arrangement of We Wish You a Merry Christmas. And with the beginner students, we use a method called color strings. I don't know if some of you are familiar with this. This was developed by two Hungarian brothers, Gesa and Csaba Silvai, and they live in Finland. They are originally from Hungary, but they've been living in Finland for about 40 years. And then they developed this beautiful method that is teaching the kids with colors at the beginning. So there are no lines, no staff, no sharps, flats, distractions, right? So each string is a different color. And they start reading. So they start reading right away, not like other methods that is by ear, by root. So like they start reading the colors. Each string is a different color. They do a lot of harmonics. So they get to learn the whole fingerboard. They do it with all the strings. And I think there are some already like some teachers that have been translating these to other instruments, but it started originally with violin and cello. And then viola and bass was added. So we start all of our kids
with this method for the first maybe 4 years or something like that. It's a very, maybe we can, another time we could talk about that method. It's very thorough. It teaches everything, every single new rhythm, every single new finger, new note. And they use also the Kodai method for solfege. So it's also the, they're training their ears while they're learning to read and to play the instrument. So we have found that it's very, it has been very successful with our students. So we're using it. All right. So these ensembles here are the first two, and they're playing We Wish You a Merry Christmas.
Let me
start it over. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Alexandra and I would like to introduce you to my friends. And I wish you happy holidays.
Hi, my name is Abigail. Paulina. Chloe.
Elian.
Ezra. My name is Isabella.
Louis.
Oliver. Hi, my name is Rachel. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Hello, my name is Sam.
My name is Sandra.
Hi, my name is Sadie.
Wyatt.
Hi, my name is Sarah.
Alden.
Alvin.
Antonia.
Abigail.
Hello, my name is Casey.
Hi, my name is Emily.
Hello, my name is Alvin.
Hi, I'm Helen.
Hello, my name is Jiro.
Justin.
Luis.
Marco.
Hi, my name is Rita. My name is Sarah.
Hi, my name is Stella.
Hi, my name is Stephanie.
Hi, my name is Terrence.
Hi, my name is Yu.
Yumeng.
And Merry Christmas to all. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Come on.
Smile. Do not move. Wait. And now we're clear.
By the way, that gives you a little bit of background what happens when we do those videos or when they do it. Hold on a second, let me stop it. Yes, here we are. Okay, and then to close our presentation, we're going to show you one more video, which is what was made by the Youth Ensemble. This is the latest they did in December, and is one of the quartets by Beethoven. And okay, yes, we will show you in a minute. So yes, as Maria Esther was saying, it takes a lot of diligence to get the students prepared for this, but we find that they learn so much from recording themselves. They need to send us like the video that is the best they can, and then so it's like in a way they're learning, they're becoming more independent in the learning that before we used to do everything for them. So yes, we're very happy with the results we have achieved during this time, like looking at the positive side of this pandemic. Okay, so here is the Youth Ensemble. This is our last video performing the first movement of the Serioso Quartet.
by Beethoven.
As we celebrate Beethoven's 250th birthday, we will be performing the first movement of his 11th String Quartet, Opus 95, Serioso.
It was composed to be experimental music and not meant to be performed in public.
He wrote this quartet during 1810 during very turbulent times when Napoleon invaded Vienna for the second time.
Beethoven was known for his outrage, and his music is full of it. There's a famous episode when Prince Lichnowsky asked Beethoven to play piano for the French officers at a dinner.
Imagine you had just been asked to play for the enemy. They had just occupied your country. What would you do?
Beethoven stormed out declaring, "There have been thousands of princes, and there will be thousands more, but there's only one Beethoven."
Okay, and that was our youth ensemble. Well, thank you very much again for having us and for listening to us. And we would like to leave some minutes for you.
If there are any
if you have any questions or any comments, we would love to interact with all of you. I think, Aurora, do you have a question?
No, I just wanted to say that I found it really interesting about like the colors and learning by colors. Like as somebody who's learned through the Suzuki method, I think it's just really interesting to hear that there's another way to learn, and it was very impressive, especially the young kids. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. It's like it makes it simpler for them to approach the instrument, so they don't have to be worrying about so many things. So it's like they're reading just colors, they're doing a lot of open strings and harmonics to develop the sound, so they get really comfortable with the instrument. So we're still exploring. Well, sometime maybe we can, when we go back in person, you can come and see it in action. Okay, yes, Rose.
Well, thank you so much for coming. This was such an encouraging presentation. I was wondering if you could talk about to what degree or in what ways parents need to be involved, or in what ways the students are independent of their parents as they learn, or like what you need from them, or how you create relationships with them.
Yeah, so it's different when we were in person. Like I said, especially the first few years when through elementary school, we were seeing the students in one of the programs. We see them every day. So the one in Chinatown, they would come 7:30 to 9 every day, Monday to Friday. So they didn't have to take the instrument home. I mean, it gets to a level that when they're they have more things going on, and they have like etude scales and many different things that they need to take it home in order to practice, to develop more. But for the younger ones, they don't take it for a while. So that way the parents are not that involved in that sense of like the practicing at home, because they're doing it with us, especially through the first couple of years. Yeah. But we do a lot of events during the year and concerts. So we want to make sure that the community is close, and we involve the parents. We have like a parent committee that has been extremely helpful. And then now that through the pandemic, like we're explaining, the parents have to be there, especially for the younger ones. So we are working a lot with the parents, and they're there during the lessons, and we tell them what to do, how to help them. Some of them are even like learning themselves how to play the violin, or like at least to sing and say the rhythms, so they could help the kids. And it's very helpful. Yeah, and we have, I mean, most of our communities, our main communities are like in Chinatown. So like a lot of Chinese immigrants, like the majority of our kids are like children of immigrants. So they don't speak English at home. And then this other program in Austin is mostly Central American that speak Spanish. So like because we're Venezuelans, then we get to talk to them in their native language. And then they see that it's people that are similar to them, that they see that we're making our career here. We're also immigrants, and they reflect themselves in us. And then in Chinatown, we don't speak the Chinese, but we have parents that do. They're bilingual. So then they create like group chats with all the other parents, and they help each other translate information. Yeah, we couldn't do it without the parents.
Yeah,
the parent help.
And we do a lot of like, every time we do an event, we do like a potluck. So like everyone brings food and stuff, and we get to share. So it becomes, after so many years, we become close to those parents too. And, they learn to appreciate what it is for the kids to study music and what it takes for them. Yeah. Anyone else that would like to ask a question?
So I know there are a few other programs that are similar to this in the Boston area and around. How do you guys coordinate your work? Do you help each other? Do you support each other by cross-pollinating, or by going to one side or the other?
Yes. So we also work with Longy School of Music. They have a program called El Sistema Side by Side. where they bring together children, students from all these other programs. Several Saturdays a year is like, I don't know, like 14 Saturdays or something like that. And then they play side by side. It's called side by side because they play with Longy Conservatory students. And my sister and I are also the artistic directors of the program. So we help coordinate everything and like, select the repertoire, work with the students. So this is a way for kids from Western Massachusetts get together with Boston, and they travel like from Worcester or from Pittsfield. The Kids for Harmony students, they travel and they come together on Saturdays. I mean, we used to come together on Saturdays. Now we're doing it.
Yeah, but nowadays it's virtually, and actually it gave us the opportunity to expand it worldwide. So we invited students from Venezuela, from Colombia, from Panama, Italy, Mexico. So we're getting together on Saturdays and we're doing chamber music. So it's not the best to do chamber music virtually, but they're learning quartets. I mean, in Venezuela, we do a lot of orchestras and individual lessons, but not as much chamber music. I mean, it's improving day after day, but it's a chance for the students to learn new repertoire. So it's actually becoming very international. And the same, so after each scenario, we do like 3 seminarios a year. Then they will do their virtual concerts, and we hire an editor that would edit all these videos. And so the students get to enjoy it.
Yeah, and then there is another organization called Rodman Ride for Kids that they give us a donation for like El Sistema inspired programs in Massachusetts for us to
do a collaborative project.
Exactly. So that's another way for us to get together. So we have a committee of different directors or instructors from different programs, and we organize a fun activity. It's called the Day of Joy. So it's just a fun activity for the kids and the teachers.
It could be from a series as a performathon that every program comes and they all perform, so it takes hours. We've done that, or sometimes it's like no music at all. So one day, one time we took the kids to treetop adventures, so like climbing on trees and zip lines. So, but it's a way of for the students to meet each other, because even though they're mostly in Boston or in the greater Boston area, they don't see each other. Everybody's so busy. So the ones living in Somerville, Rochester, Boston. So it's a way to interact. But yeah, every program is independent. So it's not like in Venezuela that it's all sponsored by one organization and mostly by the government. It's different. So here everybody is independent, but we find ways to collaborate.
I mean, first of all, the results you get are amazing. And it just all seems to have happened so smoothly. Did you encounter any bumps along the road?
But I mean, we're kind of naive in a way when we started this like whole nonprofit thing because we just wanted to teach, right? So we were like, okay, let's just start teaching the kids. And that's how we started. But then it's like, okay, then we're gonna start a nonprofit. How does this work? So we're like figuring out everything by ourselves, asking a lot of advice from people, from many of the parents. Actually, parents are like a wonderful resource because many of them are professionals and they are like accountants or they know lawyers, and so they helped us a lot to incorporate. Yeah, because we started teaching them without having our own organization yet. So then we're incorporated as a nonprofit. We worked with an accountant, and we're still learning how to do that. So like we're doing everything, like we're doing all the admin work.
We hire a part-time accountant. We hire a part-time
grant
writer, and many parents also help us a lot. So, but we're still in that process of growing and figuring out how to have.
And administration too. At points it gets overwhelming. It's like so many things you have to do, and like we have the responsibility of everything. No, we're like the head
or
of the
sometimes you
organization.
feel like you want to do more, but we're like, okay, well, we've done a lot. Let's take it one step at a time, and we're growing little by little. But it's just like appreciating and seeing the positive side and see gradually what the next steps would be.
It's our baby. You're seeing your baby grow and develop, and it's beautiful. It's a lot of work, but it's so rewarding. So we will do it again. And I mean, we still have lots, as I said, lots to learn. We like a lot of room to grow. We want to, become like more like sustainable organization in the future, and then be able to reach to even more children and more
Different
schools.
communities.
Yeah, different communities. Well, we're little by little, we're getting there.
And feel free, if anybody has any question later on, feel free to reach out to us. Ms. Cheng has our emails, so we can be in touch later on.
So the circumstances here in the U.S. are so very different from Venezuela. So were your when you first started, were you able to immediately adapt what you had learned and the way you had learned it to what it's like here?
Yeah, it's a learning process. We have been very fortunate to be able to study here, and then like get in touch, like travel and do other festivals and stuff. So we were also exposed to other methodologies. So like we're coming from Venezuela, but then we did the Indiana University teacher training workshop, and then we learned about these color strings. So we went and did this color string certificate, and so we're learning about all this. So we're like creating our own approach, and then to bring, like from Venezuela, we're bringing this passion to do things, and to share with the students that it's like that's the only way that you can really make an impact when you are with anything, right?
Like
like
give it all.
Yeah, when you give all of you, and like that really that thrive, because in Venezuela you like it's really hard to get things done because like of the whole situation there. And then you see how these families are traveling from like a little small town to go to the capital to have the kid receive lessons with these teachers. There is a lot of appreciation, and for us it was hard here when parents would be like, oh, can you bring, we would ask, can you bring so and so to my home to give an extra lesson? It's like, where do you live? Oh, that's like 15 minutes away from us in driving or something. And they're like, oh, we have to take the train, and the tea would take us half an hour to get there. And it's like,
we used to travel like at least for private lessons. We used to go to the capital city, and it would take like four hours. So it's like a different mentality.
And then also like here they have so many options. So like they could be in baseball or in soccer, in ballet, in this. So the kids have so many activities. So violin is just one more for them. So in a way, it's like it takes a little bit of time to we have to train them.
But it's
like
creating that culture,
and that awareness
of of the opportunities that music could give, because not every parent knows it, and that's why we want to bring it to communities. But by coming to the schools, like working in the Austin school, like coming to the community, so the parents don't have to drive to downtown. It's just easier for them, and they take it takes a little while to understand, but little by little they're seeing the advantages and the opportunities the children have.
And at the end, I mean, you see these kids playing Piazzolla, and they're playing it with energy. So it's like we all have it in us, and it's not like this is different kids. How kids from Venezuela, kids from here, it's like all kids, and they're all sponges, and they're all like hungry to learn. And if we give them like the best we can, and like all the information we can, they will absorb it, and they will internalize it, and they will give it all. So yeah, we're very happy to be able to get to meet different cultures. And that's also another beautiful thing about being here, and especially Boston. You have people coming from everywhere. Like you get on the T, and you hear all these different languages. So that's also very different from Venezuela. Even though we're like a melting pot, because we had a lot of immigration after the Second World War, but we're all Venezuelans there. And then like we're all like, it's a different mindset. But then here, everyone is like, celebrating their culture, and so it's very rich. And then they bring this. We have this ensemble, and everyone brings that culture with them. So it's really wonderful. It's enriching. It's different, but it's beautiful too.
Well, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Really, it was a wonderful presentation, and if anyone has more questions, we'll just hang out a bit after. I just want to also mention that this series is going on for another 5 weeks. I'm going to put the link to the webpage where the other events are listed in the chat. And there's kind of a range. There are a couple of more programs that are also El Sistema based, people whom I'm sure you guys know, who are coming to also talk about what they do, including one very local one, Musica Franklin, which is just up the road. And then a couple of, there are visitors from So Percussion, whom Ayano connected us with, who talk about another way of thinking about social action as performing musicians. And then lastly, we actually may yet add something after this, but for the moment, lastly is Weston Sprott from Juilliard Pre-College, who speaks a lot about issues of inclusion and diversity. So I just want to remind everyone that this is going on for the next few Wednesdays at this time. And thank you guys so much. So it's been great.
Thank you. It's
Yeah,
a pleasure.
thank you. All pleasure to be here.
Stay safe.